Coming up on No Pulp, geez, Ben, there's a lot to get to in the world of college basketball. On the men's side, things are only getting more exciting by the day. Some big games, some conference tournaments to get to.
Plus, I body slammed Trey Redfield into the wall in the juicer today. Absolutely ruin any hope or shred of dignity that he still has.
And everyone's talking about the ACC, the SEC, Big 12, all the power conferences. We're going to tell you about the conferences that you're not thinking of and should.
But don't worry, we are going to pick the big games.
It's No Pulp. It starts right now.
Are we crazy? Again, you're going over too many times. I can't with you. When you lose those games, it's tough for those teams. Mainstream, schmainstream.
I am ready to go to battle. Welcome inside the CitrusTV studios. No Pulp is back and back at it again. I'm excited for it because you know what I love about this show, Ben?
What do you love?
On No Pulp, we give the people what they want. So
and what do the people want?
Let's skip right to the good stuff. It's the top plays from the world of college basketball right now. Roll it.
Green. Kamara, they're going to go to him. Instead, they're going to play. Oh, man! Brandon.
Dre Edwards, top of the key with the three!
Orange got to go. 2 seconds on the clock. Last second heat. Oh!
Georgia's 22 have come in the paint. Oquendo. Oh! Tomahawked him.
Chucky Hepburn. Big 10 on the line.
Shul inbounds it. He gets it to Harden. That's for the win. It's over. It is over.
The top plays of the past week in college basketball, and Ben, there's only one way to follow that up, maybe the top game of the week in college basketball. Duke-UNC always promises to be a good one with the rivalry, but this one had some extra spice. Mike Krzyzewski's last game, and we'll get to that. But in this game, the debate right now is, will Coach K get another national championship? Because all eyes are on Krzyzewski and his final year.
Look, I'm not in the business of guaranteeing people wins in tournaments of 64 that are single elimination. But I think the Duke Blue Devils have a great shot to win another national title. This team has been hanging around the top 5 to 10 the entire year. They hadn't had A.J. Griffin the whole year. They've played better since then. This game, yes, concerning, but you almost wonder, the Coach K moment, I mean, that's bigger than any moment. That comes once in 50 years. That's not even national title level. That's larger. And I wonder if the moment was just a little big for Duke there. I truly think that they are a great team that can really go on a deep run.
All right, so you saw what happened. UNC beat Duke, and at the end, it kind of became a little bit more than it was. It was a close game, pretty much from wire to wire.
Yeah.
UNC, I think, proved a lot here. How much of a threat do you think they are? Because, first of all, I think Duke is the team to beat in the nation, and I think North Carolina proved that they are maybe the second best team come tournament time, come Big Dance time, out of the ACC.
Yeah, I think they proved that too. I mean, I do think they're the biggest threat. I'm just kind of making it a little relative where I don't really think anyone's that big of a threat. I think these Duke Blue Devils are going to cruise pretty well to an ACC tournament championship. You know, perhaps North Carolina in the final game, if I was going to pick someone, I do think that they would be an interesting matchup. The history of that rivalry, even when the teams aren't evenly matched, which, to be fair, North Carolina is a good team, but even when they're not, they're going to be close games. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
But what I do have to say is that while that game was trying to start, I was stuck watching a different game, Brad. The Big 12 was having a classic. Kansas, Texas, it went to overtime. That one was a ton of fun with Kansas coming up. Then you had Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and the Cowboys come up with a big win. A lot of other big scores going on in the Big 12 as well. And I guess what that brings me to, Brad, is who's the team to beat?
It's Kansas. It's Kansas. And I think a lot of teams will be surprised about that because there's another team in this conference that has a lot of hardware on their side, but it's Kansas. Look, let's elephant out of the room. It's Baylor is the other team that.
Yeah, it's Baylor.
Okay,
it's
so
Baylor.
you think it's Baylor? I think it's Kansas. They walloped Baylor in the first game. That was a little while ago. The last game, I understand.
Baylor won.
Baylor won.
As
yes,
part of a
did.
5-game win streak.
However, Christian Braun, I think, is the X factor for Kansas, and he had a double-double the last time against Baylor. Didn't even shoot well from the perimeter, and if he can shoot well, Kansas is a different team.
And part of the team to beat for me, I've already listed some Baylor reasons. Just beat Kansas, have won 5 in a row. You're the defending national champion. You're the regular season champion. In a way, I think that just makes you the team to beat because you're the one to knock off. Yes, Kansas runs this conference, but I think Baylor right now the team to beat. What I want to know from you, though, Brad, is not the big teams, but maybe a team who needs to make a run in this tournament.
There are a lot of them. I really feel like it's Kansas, it's Baylor, and it's the field. I'll go with Oklahoma. I feel like Oklahoma has a lot of talent, but they haven't been able to piece it together yet this season. And they're kind of buried right now in the field. They have a winnable game against West Virginia, and then after that, look, who knows? It's a pretty tough draw against Baylor, but if they shoot well, anything's possible for Oklahoma.
Yeah, they need it bad. I have Oklahoma too. In Joe Lunardi's bracketology, they're not the first four out. They're not the next four out. They're the one right after that. But that's still enough time to get back into the NCAA tournament if you win a couple games.
Let's shift to the women's side right now, because in the Big Ten, I think a lot of people are looking at the Big Ten, and a lot of people specifically are looking at what Iowa's doing with Caitlin Clark. But there is a laundry list of teams that you can choose from as a national contender. So, Ben, who are you most impressed with?
Well, from that tournament, I'm really impressed with Indiana. I mean, I know they didn't win the thing, but they had to win 3 games to get there. That's a tough road. And for Indiana, in a gauntlet of a Big Ten, I mean, you looked at the national rankings coming into that tournament, so many teams packed from 10 to 20. To go on a run that long and then fall to a good Iowa team, I think that's really good momentum for Indiana.
It's nice. It's really nice. Indiana got something, even though they got nothing.
I know where you're going here.
Look, it's Iowa, right? It's Iowa. Caitlin Clark wins it for Iowa. She's the player of the year, and this is a team that I think people have to be looking at as a national contender. I feel like the Big Ten doesn't get respected as much as it should. It's not the ACC, it's not the SEC, but Caitlin Clark is as good as any of them. And if she continues to play the way she is at 28 points per game, then it's really, what else is not possible for Caitlin Clark? I think the only thing left for her in her career is a run in the tournament, and she proved that she's capable of tournament excellence by winning the Big Ten dance. That being said, Michigan is a little iffy right now.
Yes.
That's a team that has a lot of talent. And like Danielle Rausch, actually Syracuse native, she is a shooter who really hasn't been shooting well. Now, they've lost the last 2 games. How concerned are you?
I'm concerned. I'm concerned, but I think, as we'll both end up coming to agree, the concern has been there. I mean, Michigan, this is not the start of it. Michigan lost a handful of games coming into the tournament, and in a conference this competitive, they can't afford to be sluggish.
Right, I agree with you. Michigan needs to start winning some of these games, and they're close, too.
Well, some teams that are very close to winning, potentially an NCAA title, come out of the ACC. Louisville in that tournament, though, slipped a little bit. We saw in the plays of the week, they lost to Miami. How much do you trust the Cards?
I trust really anyone out of the ACC as long as you're in the top 5 of the conference, because there are so many teams in this conference. I trust really anyone. I think Louisville can do it. Yeah, they had a hiccup here, but you look at Emily Angsler and the rest of that roster, just top to bottom, they have a little bit of everything. And okay, yeah, NC State's really good, and Miami made a run, and they proved something, but Louisville could easily win the whole thing.
I think so. I think if they ran into NC State, they might be in trouble. I have the Wolfpack as the best ACC team. But how do you not really trust Louisville? They've been so good this year.
Yeah, they've been really good. Miami, too. I mean, what they've done recently, what are they capable of?
You think they can go on a run?
Okay, so they already have. I'm actually concerned that they hit the gas on the runaway a little too early, if that makes sense. It's all about who's playing well at the time of the tournament, not necessarily who's the best in the tournament. So you would think it's a point in Miami's favor, and it is a little bit. I'm just concerned that they might run out of gas by the time Selection Sunday rolls around.
I like the run to be a precursor to another, but more importantly, when I come back, I have a couple threats levied at Trey Redfield that I need to live up to. It's the Juicer next on No Pulp.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed.
I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it.
I just want my family to be safe.
But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
breathe right into your foot,
your plumber's masseuse,
yes,
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
No Pulp is back with a very special guest. He's Ben Shulman. I'm Brad Klein, the usual suspects. Trey Redfield is here as well. Trey, thanks for taking the time here.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure to go to work on Ben
Anything
Shulman.
to get a shot at Ben Shulman here. So it's the juicer. We're going to put 30 seconds on the clock, and Trey and Ben, they're going toe-to-toe. I'm the judge and the jury to see who wins here. So we're going to start with Ben. Ben, which team will win the Big Ten tournament straight up?
I got Purdue, and I don't really think that this is a complicated answer. Are the Boilermakers as good as we thought they were earlier in the year? Probably not. I mean, they didn't deserve that #1 ranking, but they are incredibly consistent in a conference where not a lot of teams have been. And get this, the good mix of offense and defense. There are only 4 teams in the Power 5 that average more than 80 points and give up less than 70. One of them is Purdue. The other's Kentucky, Duke, Arizona. Those are pretty good basketball teams that'll probably win their conference tournaments. Well, one of them might not, but we'll get to that later. But I got Purdue.
You said Purdue is consistent?
Yeah.
Purdue is not consistent. They've lost 3 of their last 7.
So who do you got?
I got Illinois because they're 9-3.
They're consistent against Illinois.
They're 9-3 in their last 12 games. Kobe Coburn is really good. He's averaging a double-double. I think he's going to be player of the year. You know that? And he's going to guide Illinois all the way. He's going to go pretty far in the tournament. I think they're going to win the Big Ten. The only thing that's stopping the fight in Illini is Sister Jean, and that was last year. I mean, hey, this is a whole different Illinois team. I'm really liking how the Fighting Illini are going to go along with this. 4-1 against teams that they can face in the semis. Indiana, Michigan, Rutgers, and Iowa. Purdue's not consistent. Illinois is, though.
Yeah, but #1 in the Big Ten tournament, that feels like chalk to me. I'm going Purdue.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
they beat them twice this year.
I don't care.
Head to head,
It's
man.
hard to beat them 3 times. I got more on that
Well,
later.
it's hard to beat them twice, and Purdue did that.
Twice. On their own floor.
That's the Big Ten. Ben, you got a point. Good for you.
Good for you.
By the way,
Yeah,
I forgot
good
to
for
mention,
him.
the prize is a bowl of boysenberries, so it's a
Oh, yeah,
Oh, my
boy.
goodness.
Ben,
Oh, my goodness.
Ben is allergic to the blueberries, but not the boysenberries.
No,
That's good. All right, so we go to the SEC now, and we're going to start with Trey this time.
Okay.
Trey, who do you think's winning the SEC tournament?
I'm thinking Kentucky because Oscar Tshiebwe is amazing. He's also averaging a double-double, 17 points, 15 rebounds. You guys talked about him a little bit in the webisode, and Auburn's most likely going to go down first in this SEC tournament, knowing they have to play Arkansas if they even make it there. Arkansas is a team, yeah, I know they beat Kentucky, but this is an Auburn team that also lost to the Arkansas. They got a 1-point squeak against Missouri. They got a 2-point squeak against Georgia. They lost to Florida as well. You couldn't even close down the stretch. I can't take that, man. They're 3-2 in their last 5 games.
Something's quacking on me like a platypus over here, all right?
He's still going to win
He's saying
this.
Auburn's going to go down first. Ladies and gentlemen, Trey Redfield has told you right here, Auburn, a top 3 team in the country, is going down first in this tournament.
Yes.
They have the best player. I know Tshiebwe's good.
Tshiebwe's really
Jabari
good.
Smith at his potential is the best player. Now, I picked Tshiebwe in the webisode, but that's a whole different thing because Smith has more potential. He's just younger. Not to mention, the supporting cast on this team is fantastic. Wendell Green is amazing. Katie Johnson transferred in. He pretty much is a second Smith in terms of how difficult it is to guard that guy at multiple positions. Not to mention, those Kentucky Wildcats, 1-4 against teams ranked in the top 20 this year. Doesn't sound like a team that's going to win a tournament.
No, it doesn't. That's a good point. I will say I'm also Jabari Smith fan club president. So
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Auburn.
Oh,
here.
my goodness.
Where does that put you in the Jim Boeheim fan club?
Not great. Hey, he had 46 years to prove himself to me, and he's still working on it. So that's fine. All right, we go to the Conference of Champions, and Trey, you're in a hole here. So you're going to have to watch and learn as Ben goes first and work on your quack, too. Conference of Champions, Pac-12, who's going to win that tournament?
Look, you're not going to like it, but I like it. It's the University of California at Los Angeles.
Wow.
Johnny Juzang and the boys. Don't tell me you didn't watch the tournament last year, Trey. There's one team in this conference that makes it the Conference of Champions. It's UCLA. They know how to go on runs. They have a ton of experience, and they split the matchup with Arizona. I know the easy pick is going to be Arizona, but they went 1-1 against them. If any team is going to knock them off, it's UCLA.
Okay.
You mentioned my pick, and I'm so glad you did. I'm taking Arizona in this one. They've been a different team since that loss since UCLA. 12-1 since then on January 25th. They lead the league in scoring and in scoring margin too. The rebounding's even better, and also they put up a block party over in Tucson. You got Benedict Mathurin having 17 points per game, and then you have Christian Coloco getting 2 blocks a game. This is easy.
I've never heard of Arizona losing early in a tournament that they were favored in. It's crazy.
It's the Pac-12, not the NCAA tournament. It's the Pac-12, not the NCAA.
You both make good points.
I made a great
I'm about to make my decision, but first, Ben, you got to do something for me, okay?
What's that?
There's a camera right there.
Yes.
Say UCLA is going to win the Pac-12 tournament.
I am Ben Shulman, and UCLA is going to win the Pac-12 tournament.
He almost said it with a straight face. You almost got the point. I'm still going with
it. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Come on, I believe in my boys.
I mean, not enough to keep a straight face, though.
No.
The poker face, not fantastic. He's got pocket aces, by the way. Okay, so Pac-12 tournament, going to Arizona, going to Trey with a point. So he's on the board here. He's still in the game. We go to Trey here. And this is big.
This is big. It's the Big East. So it's pretty
big. Big East tournament. Who's going to win it?
Providence.
All right.
Providence. Defense wins championships. They only give up 63 points per game. That's the best in the Big East. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. I got it. I know Villanova has beaten this Providence team twice. But didn't you guys say in the webisode too that Ed Cooley could possibly be Coach of the Year? Yeah.
You got to get off Instagram, man.
I'm not getting.
We're getting this webisode thrown right
You want to get on TikTok? You always talk about
underscore
TikTok.
CitrusTV_.
Yes. I mean, you can go on TikTok, but I'm going with Providence because it's hard to beat a team 3 times, and defense wins championships, buddy.
The hard to beat a team 3 times. I just can't believe that losing to a team head-to-head twice, like the Villanova Wildcats, who will obviously win this tournament. I mean, I've never seen more of a fake team than the Providence Fraudsters, who beat DePaul by 2 and Butler by 2 and take Xavier to triple overtime. I mean, these guys are a middle-of-the-pack team that's got 18 bounces this year. Cooley is the Coach of the Year in Brad's opinion, and one of the contenders in mine, because he's elevated a team that's frankly just not that good and helped them win games when they could have lost so many games. So for that reason,
credit here. He kind of read my
I gotta
mind.
go with Villanova.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. What Providence is doing, what Ed Cooley is doing with Providence, this is not a very good basketball team, and Ed Cooley is making Trey think otherwise. So he fooled you, Trey. I'm sorry he did that. Ben, the Juicer champion.
Let's go. All right, now I have to body slam Trey.
No.
Okay. No. While I'm body slamming.
While that's happening, go body slam. Sorry, the arcade.
What are we? Oh no! Oh god!
No! Hey, we still have a lot to get to. Trey's got to make sure that he stays out of a neck brace. Which conferences are you not thinking of that you should? Find out after a break.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
There's just something about music that stirs the soul, makes us crank it, let go and come alive. This is what makes life, right? Yet what if too much of a good thing today could make us miss out on life tomorrow? 1 in 5 American teenagers now has some type of hearing loss. Loud noise is the most common cause. And these days, we're plugged in louder and longer than ever. Let's hear for life. Turn the volume down.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Welcome back to No Pulp. He's Brad Klein. I'm Ben Shulman, and we've done a lot of talking about some of the major conferences in college basketball. But one of my favorite parts about this year is the fact that we get to learn about a lot of new schools. So we're going to tell you a little bit about the mid-majors that have either interesting conference tournaments or maybe can make a splash in the NCAA tournament. And with that, I got to start, Brad, with the West Coast Conference. This is the league that you know, the one that threatens. It's the Gonzaga League, if you're not running with me right now. But the interesting thing about the WCC is it's become a little bit more than that this year. St. Mary's, to end the regular season, beat Gonzaga. Now they go up as the number 2 seed in the conference tournament, and who knows if they reach each other in the final, what's going to happen? They split it 1-1. The fun thing about this conference too, whether it's St. Mary's or Gonzaga, you could put a good bet, not a sure one, but a pretty good bet that that will be the furthest mid-major team to make it in the tournament. But Brad, who do you got? Gonzaga, St. Mary's?
There's a part of my heart that belongs to St. Mary's because for no reason ever I was a big Jock Landale fan. Remember Jock Landale?
I do not.
Okay,
I'll be honest.
Look him up. Really tall, center, not really skilled, but
like
he was really
grand
tall.
Oak.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Jock Landale and the Gales, yeah. I'll take them. Hey, the WCC is definitely a conference to look out for. So is the American. And you mentioned a couple of teams for the WCC. I only have one. And it's Houston. Are they legit? That's the question that everyone's trying to answer. And right now, you see that they're projected as a 5 seed, and that's cool. But the thing about Houston, Ben, they have no bad losses. Model of consistency. Yeah, they lost a couple to Memphis, but that's a conference game, and Memphis is really talented. A dud to SMU, and then a couple of early losses to some Power 5 teams. But really, Houston, they've been really strong.
No, they have been, and they made a great run in the tournament last year, so there's a big reason you could see them going on another run this year. Another team that's made some runs in the past, Davidson from the A10. Yep. That's a conference I like. Davidson is almost for sure an at-large bid. They've played really well this year. The question is there going to be a bid stealer? Dayton right now projected in the first 4 out. In the next 4 out, VCU Pulp fans, remember that. They beat Syracuse a while ago. So the potential for a bid to be taken away from maybe a Virginia Tech or another really prominent Power 5 school is there. Both of these teams have beat Davidson and have Power 5 wins this year. Expect that to be a highly contested tournament.
I like that pick. I like it a lot. Not as much as mine. In Princeton, the Ivy League is on the map because of Princeton this year. And I'll tell you what, the Tigers are the 4th best three-point shooting team in the nation, and that's all you need in March Madness. And really, that's it. You just need some hot shooting and some good matchups and some pixie dust. So I'm going with Princeton here. I'm going with Princeton because all you need come March, that's a good shot.
Look, it's all angles for these Princeton guys. And
that went in, by the way.
Yeah, look, these nerds know how to shoot. They know how to shoot real well, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch in the tournament. I'm just kidding. I love Ivy League basketball, and I think it should be a ton of fun. When we come back, though, we are going to transition back to some of the big games going on this week, and we'll make our picks on No Pulp.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better.
Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Give it back!
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Welcome back to No Pulp, coming down the home stretch with Ben Shulman. I'm Brian Klein, happy to be with you. And Ben, some big games this coming week. We're going to start in the Big 12, and it's the Big 12 quarterfinal. It's a big game here with Texas and TCU.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of the message of that big juicer win that I picked up earlier in this show. Head-to-head matchups matter, and in this case, Texas won both head-to-head matchups, not to mention TCU recently lost to West Virginia, the worst team in the conference. That's what they're coming off of going into the tournament. Look, TCU might put up a fight. It's an in-state rivalry, but the Longhorns have been a better team all year, and I expect them to win pretty handily.
I agree with you. This one's just going to come down to talent. They have better shooting, they have better rebounding, and they probably have the better coach right now. I don't think Jamie Dixon's doing anything special with TCU. I'm going with Texas.
And then, we're going to flip a little bit over to the women's side here, but we're going to stick in the Big 12. Oklahoma is playing Kansas. What are you thinking about that game?
All right, so I have to go analytical on this one. You ready for this?
Go for it.
Oklahoma has put up 84.5 points per game this season. Kansas allowing about 64 per contest. The Sooners are 18-2 when they score 64. So those numbers scream Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I'm just going to follow the math, carry the one, and say, you know what? It's Oklahoma.
Yeah, I like Oklahoma too. These two teams have played twice, and Oklahoma did lose one of them, but this is a team that's one of the best shooting teams in all of collegiate women's basketball, in the mid-40s from the field, and they only shot 31% that game. Feels like an anomaly that will correct itself in this third matchup.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, big games come to a close, and now it's time for final words. Now, it was Mike Krzyzewski's day in Durham, not senior day, not UNC day, it was Coach K day. And after the rival loss, Krzyzewski had some choice words.
This isn't part of the program. This is impromptu by me. I'm sorry about this afternoon. Please, everyone be quiet. Let me just say, it's unacceptable.
Now, just to be clear, the Cameron Crazies have never been told to be quiet, but this is what makes Krzyzewski so legendary. Never satisfied. Now, Duke is still having a great year. I think they're the favorites to win the whole damn thing, but Coach K ain't satisfied, and I love it. Ben, this is incredible. When's the last time you heard a coach say, hey, no, it's not okay. I'm doing a bad job. This is not okay. Don't cheer.
So I will say, didn't he get mad at the Crazies when Jeff Capel first coached back there? I believe they booed. Different situation, but that's the only other crazy time I could think of. I'm staying on the tune of national champions here, but I'm talking about one that maybe we shouldn't be considering, at least for the #1 overall seed, Gonzaga. I know that's a weird statement. They're the #1 ranked team by an overwhelming 52 of 61 first place votes. But let's get something straight. They still play in a weaker conference, and they've stumbled enough at times this year that their fantastic record is just not enough, in my opinion. The Bulldogs stacked their non-con with difficult games this year to elevate the resume, and then you look at it, 4-3 against ranked teams. Look, that's fine, but it's not fantastic, and all of those teams have dropped in the rankings since Gonzaga beat them. They were near flawless in the WCC, but you can't lose out of conference and in conference as a team that's coming from the WCC and expect to be better than a 3-loss Arizona, a 5-loss Baylor, a 4-loss Auburn. They're in Power 5s and they're doing this. So you just got to slide Gonzaga to 3 or 4 in my opinion.
I like that. I will say this, you're anti-Gonzaga. We're up against it here. I've come out and said Duke's going to win the whole thing. You got a pick?
I got to pick Duke, but Brad, I got to thank you. We're wrapping up your final show here at CitrusTV, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but big influence at the station, leaving a big mark here, and I think a great way to send off the show.
And I'm the voice of CitrusTV News as well. Hey, only one way to send it off. We've got a TikTok, _CitrusTV_. Thanks to everyone for making this semester possible. Catch you later.